Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Aquaba, bienvenidos, bienvenue, Wan Ying, Dobro Pojalavat. It's so great to see you all today. And this is another segment of the multi talented, multifaceted, multilingual Diane Dixon. How are you all doing? Well, today, this segment is called Story Time with Diane Dixon. And today's story was written by Donovan Chin. And the name of our story today is Unexpected Destiny. Welcome to part 1. Jennifer Brown was 13 years old, living in Jamaica, West Indies, in the parish of Manchester. The community in which she lived in was a place where almost everyone were farmers and everyone knew each other, except for a few who lived on the outskirts of the community. Jennifer's family were Christians, and they warned her to stay away from boys. They did not explain, as parents in the Caribbean usually do. But she was an obedient child, and they were a close-knit family, so she trusted their judgment. At school, there was one boy in Jennifer's class that was in love with her. His name was Donald Anderson. Donald was obsessed with having Jennifer for his girlfriend, but to Jennifer, he was annoying. Every time she turned around, he was there, and she turned him down several times and embarrassed him in the process. His friends would laugh at him, but he would go back to her each day as if nothing happened the day before. One evening, Jennifer was planning to get home early so she could finish her homework in time to go to prayer meeting with her grandmother. She took a short cut through the woods. Donald saw her when she was leaving the main road. She went on to a foot track, so he waited until no one was looking. Then he sneaked into the bush. He ran as fast as he could to catch up with her. Jennifer heard the running feet and looked around and saw Donald running towards her, and she started to pick up the pace. She turned off the foot track to get back on the main road. As Jennifer ran into the bush, she fell and rolled down the little slope. So she continued to roll down the slope, and by the time she stopped, she was rather dizzy and weak. When Donald got to her, she was still on her back and was barely able to open her eyes. Jennifer, you all right?" But she did not respond. He tried to remove her backpack so he could lift her up. As he bent over Jennifer, she opened her eyes wide with fright, thinking he was going to rape her. She opened her mouth wide and locked her teeth on his chest and would not let go. Donald felt the sharp bite and yelled out, "Ah! Let me go! Let me go, Jennifer! Let me go!" She was too scared to let go, so she bit in harder. Donald struck her in her head, hoping she would let him go, but she locked her jaws as tight as she could. Donald was now on top of her, with his hands desperately trying to find an object to strike a blow hard enough for her to let him go. His hand found a rock about the size of his fist. The frightened boy, in survival mode, desperately trying to free himself from the unbearable pain, took the rock and struck her as hard as he could. The hit was so hard that Jennifer passed out. Donald thought she died, and no one would believe his story. Because of the many missing girls in Jamaica and how it happened, he grabbed his book bag and ran away without being seen. Later on, as it was getting dark and Jennifer's family were looking all over for her and alerting the community that she's missing, a farmer was now on his way home with his herd of goats. As usual, the goats would be in front of him, but when he got to the point, he noticed one was missing. He stopped and looked around and heard the goat crying. The goat was crying in a way he had never heard it cry before. The goat had strayed and got tangled in the bush. With his machete, he hurried to where the sound was coming from. Strangely, the farmer saw that the goat was untangled. With a mournful cry, the goat stood in one place. That is part 1 of Unexpected Destiny. Tune in next time for the continuation of this fascinating story written by Donovan Chin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do like and subscribe my channel. I have lots of good material and content that will keep you totally engaged. Thank you. And this is Diane Dixon's Story Time, signing out. Until next time, sayonara, cheerio, dos vidania, later.